you asked a question. Cornelia, what was his question?
I'm not quite sure because I don't know. So the question was, I feel always bad if I want to do something.
Oh yes, about voices, hearing the voice that don't do this or you're bad.
Something, anyway. I have always a voice, it's bad, you're bad, it's bad, you're not good enough.
Yeah. The question is, he is plagued, bothered by internal voices that give him a lot of problems. That he's bad, and you're not good enough, and this and that. And most people are plagued by inner voices. And the voices are wonderful and great, providing that they're nice to you. And same thing with friends. Aren't friends wonderful and nice until they're not nice to you? Huh? Same thing. Huh? We're getting negative voices. As it is for customers, customers are just wonderful until they are from hell. Same thing with our children, or our wives, or our husbands. Same thing. Everything is wonderful until it turns on us. Until we don't like it. Huh? That's, in essence, really what it comes down to. Until we don't like it. Now, pay attention to this. And this happens, it hasn't happened actually in the last year and a half in this group, but it still happens to talking to people, counseling people outside the European workshop. Because you've heard it enough and you thought about it and you don't do this anymore. But it is a very subtle behavior that somehow has penetrated most societies and most families, and it's really quite acceptable to talk and be and act like this. When a person hears something, or a person is offended by another person, or a person doesn't like something that another person is saying, that person analyzes it, thinks about it, goes over it, and then goes to this other person and says, you said this, this, and this, and this, or you did this, and this, and this, or this happened, I'm not happy. 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 You didn't make me happy today. You didn't say what I wanted you to say. You didn't say what I want to hear. I'm not happy. It's such a subtle behavior. It's such an ordinary behavior. And we say it in different ways to each other all the time. Even when I'm speaking, people still say this in a subtle way. Oh, I like what you said. Oh. Boy, I wouldn't like it if you don't like what I said. In essence, people, we threaten other people into submission. And we give okays when we are okay, when we're happy with what I hear and see. But don't make me unhappy. This is what we do, a lot of us inside. And very quietly, our communication has become so sophisticated, so nice. Now we can say things in a very nice way. I'm not happy. And we have learned to cope with this. And we learn to take these threats, but we don't really think about all these very subtle threats. And we do this to ourselves. We even threaten ourselves. We even threaten our own minds with the same behavior. And we say it so ordinarily because the other person responds, it makes it okay because you respond to the threat. You actually have accepted the threat. And this very subtle communication, this very subtle behavior is very difficult to relax. But start to hear that in other people. Really start to hear that in other people. You know, it's really funny, my wife or a friend or two, and they get a comment from somebody in the crowd, and the comment is, they're not happy. Oh. Make them happy. Make everybody happy. Oh. And it's, you know, it's a very funny thing when somebody talks to my wife or talks to somebody else and they don't like what they just heard, they pass on what they don't like, what they heard, or the threat, you know, hey, tell Emaho to make me happy. Don't talk about that, but you can talk about this, and talk about that, but don't talk about that. That doesn't make me happy. It's really, really something how this works. This is, and it's a control measure. You know how fathers and mothers can easily do this with their children, and children they learn how to do it with their parents, and we do it with our friends, and then pretty soon the boss does it with the employees, and it goes on back and forth, and pretty soon everybody kind of finds out where they're placed in life, and how far they can go, and how far they can take things out. So, in essence, it takes a lot of courage not to make everybody happy. An awful lot of courage. And that's why it's best to get very quickly, as best as possible, an understanding about other people's minds and about yourself. To talk to any human being, to any stranger, it's a very difficult thing to do. We have become, in many ways, you could say, very critical, very quickly. We start taking words apart. In 3 or 4 minutes, we got the person measured who they are. And this happens time and time and time again. And how difficult it is to really allow and give time a chance. Really give time a chance. And that will relax our critical mind. And that will relax our hurt inside. Because for the most part, when we become very critical, is that we have too much hurt and disappointment inside, and that builds up inappropriate pride. And then we start acting out with very sharp sarcasms and feelings. This is where we get lost. get to know our own selves. It's a beautiful adventure. And to give other people a break. And even though you might hear something about them, or even though you might see something that they have done, don't close the door on them. And no matter who they are, or what they have done, always hold that respect for them as a person. Always that. You know, one of the most beautiful things that have happened in a lot of societies, they're teaching policemen. They're re-educating policemen. That even though you have caught a criminal, you've caught another person beating up another person, they have taught and teaching these policemen to respect that human being, regardless of what they have done. Respect them. And they're teaching them the various behaviors and attitude and tone of voice that carries this respect. Regardless of what that person has done, respect them as a human being. And this has finally penetrated our government, finally penetrated the police force. And it's really a very wonderful thing to watch. Policemen respect a citizen that maybe has shot another person, beat up another person, or is belligerent and disrespectful to other people. But to constantly hold the respect. In essence, as being a professional. That's what a professional is. Regardless of what the person has done, be a professional. And to really find out about yourself, we have to learn to be professionals with ourselves, regardless of what the person said, regardless of what we hear and what we see. Be a professional. What do I mean by respect? When you watch these policemen handle a person, they're going to take a person, they need to handcuff the person. And this person just got through beating up somebody. And this person, let's say, is very scared inside because there's a policeman there, there's a gun in the holster, and the policemen, usually most of them are very big. And here's this person is small, and this person knows that they have done something wrong. And so there's a lot of fear, and that still makes this person a little dangerous because of the situation, because nobody wants to be taken in to jail, into prison. But this is going to happen. It's a reality. The person has taken it a little too far. They've broken the law. The policeman is actually educated and taught to find out where the person is at and speak to them on their level of fear, to respect the fear, and to acknowledge that what they see. They see the fear. And that later on everything is going to be okay. They acknowledge their fear, they acknowledge their state of mind, they acknowledge that, yeah, maybe there's blood all over the place, or someone has been hurt, and they acknowledge that they can see that they are hurt too. That they would not have done what they have done if there was no hurt involved on their part. And they acknowledge that they don't want to be taken in, but they're going to have to be taken in to jail. And there's a good way and there's a bad way to go to jail. And when they handle the person not with you low down scum. But as a human being, not roughing them up and making sure that the handcuffs are not tight but firm. Now, all policemen, this doesn't happen in America. But this is what policemen are taught. And a lot of policemen work it this way, but not all. Again, sometimes, even though we get educated to respect that particular policeman, looking into the mirror has the mind to change the light and lines according to what they and how they want to treat people. Simply because they have a gun. And this is what we have to do with our own selves and our own minds. We have to respect our voices and our minds. Because when a human being starts to hear voices, and it's a very common thing, I'm not talking about clinical voices, I'm just talking about thoughts that we all naturally have. And sometimes these thoughts get louder, and sometimes they're very, very soft. But if you wish to, let's say, not be plagued by voices, you have to understand there's no bad spirit in there speaking to you. It is simply your mind. There is no bad spirit, or there's nobody in there trying to destroy your life. When we grow up as children, if we get afflicted with too much guilt, we have too much shame. And parents are not, they're not psychologists, they're not psychiatrists. They try to be. And it's not easy to talk to kids about all the problems that we all grow up with. And for the most part, almost every human being has to work it out on their own, the problems. And because all of us are mischievous, all of us have done so many dumb things. And because it's a kid's mind, because we see and observe grown-ups kill each other, create war, being cruel to each other. We watch mother and father yell and scream at each other and sometimes hit each other. And we all get so confused by what the grown-ups have done. That little child is going to have to grow up into that grown-up world confused. Before your generation and my generation, we grew up with a Cold War. Possibility of a nuclear attack. And most of my generation had no history. There was no future. No future whatsoever. The whole world was going to blow up. And all kids grow up thinking about what their future is going to be like. What is the world going to be for them? Plus all the things that they feel about themselves that may not be too good. And all the pictures that they have created about themselves. I think it's a very funny thing in a kid's mind. If the parents separate, the kids always think it's because of them. When the grown-ups go to war with another country, if someone gets killed, it's easy for a kid to associate that as part of their world. that they have helped to create that. It's a very confusing time to grow up in this world. And pretty soon, when the confusion and the guilt gets a little too strong, just because it's not understood or explained about how the mind is, all of a sudden we have 10 radio stations turned on, and sometimes one radio station feeds nothing but negativity. And pretty soon, like so many human beings, the conscience, the voice of conscience that all human beings are born with, the voice of conscience is no longer heard. And what takes its place is a voice of guilt, being wrong. The world is not so pretty. A voice, somehow, I was taught, whether in school or by friends or by a book or by an imagination. Don't you remember when we had our conscience about what is right and what is wrong? And that's even considered nothing but a legend today, nothing but a storybook in most people's eyes. And it's how much money you have, or how full is your stomach, or how wonderful is your education. It's no longer how good of a person you are. And then when a human being starts to reach their 20s and 30s and 40s, and all of a sudden they start to sense big gaps inside, and all of a sudden the voice of reason and logic, where guilt and shame is a little too strong in these radio stations, somehow you've gotten used to them playing real loud all day and all night. But pretty soon, we can't take the voices of this mind anymore. And somehow, there's something missing. Somehow, when we were young, a voice of conscience. It's something that's very alive. You could call it an educator, a teacher, a good friend. But now it is, for most of us, it's substituted with guilt, a different voice, nothing but a radio station that's been turned on and left on a little too loud. Do you believe what's coming out of the radio? Do you listen? Do you really accept it? You accept what you want. You hear what you want and discard what you don't like. It's the same for your mind. The voices in your mind too. That's all it is. A radio station is somehow got a little too loud. You turn up the volume somehow quietly inside. Year by year, you turned it up. But that's all it is. Just another station. Well, who to listen to? Who to listen to? If you have no discretion about whether you're good or bad, go find someone that you think is a good person and ask them. Get some advice about your behavior, about what you think about what's going on inside you. Because if you can't trust yourself, it would be wise to try and get and establish friends who you can trust and help this friend walk you out word by word, behavior by behavior, action by action, until you can stand on your own 2 feet, until you can tell the difference between just voices and your conscience. You need someone to help walk you out. So many people, they haven't developed a discretion between just voices and their own conscience. That's what Christianity was supposed to do. That's what Buddhism is supposed to do. That's what any good philosophy is supposed to do. But it doesn't always work. Prayer is wonderful, but it doesn't mean it's going to work. Chants are beautiful, that doesn't mean it's going to work. We have to be very practical, extremely practical, and it takes a long time to create a change inside us. And maybe, and think about this, people, I'm not happy, I don't like it. Maybe you like it. Maybe it serves you. Maybe you get recognition. Maybe people listen to you. Maybe. 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 Next question.
Environment? Environment,
Environment?
about the environment with the balloon?
Environment with balloons. Question about the environment? I know what you're getting at, but I want to get a question out of you. Yeah. Yeah. You know, what is Caesar? Give unto Caesar, and what is the Lord give? Give to the Lord. Something like that. It's a very simple thing, but it definitely creates a fine line to say what is on this side and what's on that side. Here, we take and give, and we expect people to give. Now, I gave you a kiss. Come on. I worked all day. Come on. I did that. Come on. I've been nice to you. Come on. Come on. Come on. This is so woven in. It is so expected. It's shocking. It really hurts. Come on. I said my prayers. Come on. I was good. Come on. Right? And, you know, practically almost 50% of everybody still does this. Easy. And in their voice, you know, I did that. But, come on. I've attended 6 of your seminars. Come on. Give it to me. Come on. Disappointment and hurt. What is Caesar's? What is of this earth? What is of the Spirit? We are taught it is good to give back. It's good to replant trees, recycle our waters, recycle our paper. Yeah. Yeah. But I went through a lot of pain. Come on. I took care of you for 15 years. Come on. Where is your contract? Where's your contract, people? And because we all have these subtle expectations, please, very quietly, find out what belongs to this earth and what belongs to the Spirit. What is the Spirit? Does the sun expect anything in return? Does the atmosphere expect anything in return? Even if you take all the trees, there's no expectation. There's no expectation of you. We create this expectation which puts ball and chain around our lives. You do it. You've locked yourself up. And then when the heavens don't open up, when you get disappointed, and pretty soon the hurt is so well defined, I will become harder. You will not have my love. You will no longer have my friendship. I will cut myself off from you. I can really slow down the circulation into my legs. I can increase the circulation into my head and give myself headaches. I will be as cold as stone. You notice about one thing about children. For those of you parents, you remember when your children were very small, and they would get angry. They get disappointed and hurt. But you notice how long it would last? It's very quickly gone, and they're right there, loving you. How quickly do we let it go today? How quickly? How long does it last? Because with kids, it can be only just a few minutes, a few seconds, a few minutes. But at our age, how long do we hold on? Months, years. That's how long. Watch our eyes. Straighten up your backs. Feel the top of your heads. At the very top of your head, open up that door. Let yourself stand at that door and hold it open. No, ye get Some of us have found a most beautiful treasure. Some of us have lost so much. Some of us do not know why we are here. Some of us are wondering why. Some of us will hurt other people. Some of us, we are bored with our lives. For some of us, life is the most beautiful gift. For some of us, we have a birthday coming. For some of us, it's going to be the most wonderful day. And for some of us, we will hear sounds we don't like. For some of us, we will get ill in time. For some of us, we wonder about our time. For some of us, we wonder if our questions will all be answered. For some of us, sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes it's a day that everything runs so well. Some of us will lose a good friend or a good relative. Some of us are waiting for the baby to arrive. Some of us are waiting to retire. For some of us, there's nothing else to do. For some of us, we could hardly wait to watch that movie. For some of us, we want a person we cannot have. For some of us, we wonder what really is the heart. For some of us, we're going to take a boat ride. Some of us come here to have a baby or two. Some of us come here confused. Some of us come here to invent. Some of us come here to lay brick. Some of us come here to climb mountains. Some of us come here with tears. Some of us come here to kill. Some of us come here to find the one we love. Some of us come here and do not know why. Some of us come here to find out why. Some of us come here and are still dreaming. Some of us come here to see what time is all about. Some of us come here because we have no choice. Some of us come here to die. Bless the people who ride bicycles. Bless the bakers. Bless the bartenders. Bless the people who ride the cars. Bless the people who do not listen. Bless the teachers that speak. Bless the people that make the chairs. Bless the people that lay the cobblestones. Bless the airline pilots. Bless the people that kill. Bless the accidents that happen. Bless the mothers and fathers that work so hard. Bless the friends that are laughing. Bless the trees that die. Bless the bugs. Bless the ants. Bless the sunsets that always seem to come. Bless the hot days that are so difficult to live. Bless the stomachs that hunger. Bless the minds that are confused. Bless the feet that tire. Bless the shirts on our back. Bless the questions that never get answered. Bless the doubt in my mind. Bless the heart attack that happened. Bless the brushes that brush my hair. Bless the tiredness that runs through my body. Bless the sounds that I hear. Bless the inattention that I have. Bless the mirrors that I see. Bless the colors so bright. Bless the ice cream that tastes so good. Bless the cheeks that are tired. Bless the voices that hurt. Bless the thieves that steal. Bless the war that is happening. Bless the shadows below. Bless the angels above. Bless the fish in the sea. Bless the space above. Bless the shoemakers. Bless the cows. Bless the leather makers. Bless the grass. Bless the wrong way streets. Bless the dead-end alleys. Bless the wrong decisions. Bless all the gaps. Bless my joy. Bless all my fingers. Bless my broken legs. Bless my rich life. Bless my poor mind. Bless my family. Bless what I cannot see. Bless my hopelessness. Bless my grandma. Bless all the light bulbs. Bless the food in the stores. Bless my desperation. Bless the hatred in my blood. Bless the cavities in my teeth. Bless the dirt underneath my nails. Bless the rivers that flow. Bless the deserts that are dry. Really want peace in your mind and in your heart. Say this prayer to yourself. And let these very simple words penetrate you. Let it teach you. And in time you will find it comforting your nervous system. See, all live under the sun. For life does nothing but give and give and give. Whether it is an accident or a heart attack. And I know it takes time to understand it with our rational mind. But all we have to do is learn to plug in. And this prayer makes perfect sense. Nio everybody. Bless the workers that work for me. Bless the bosses that I have. Bless my sons and daughters. Bless my grandpa and mother. Bless the sons and daughters that have died. Bless the husbands and wives that have passed away. Bless the good friends that have disappeared. Bless the people that have hope. Bless the beautiful sunny days. Bless the cold winter nights. Bless me when I cannot forgive. Bless me when I refuse to understand. Bless the children that are confused. Bless the teachers that are clear. Bless the people that cannot speak. Bless the people in poverty. Bless the people that cannot count. Bless the people that do not mean to do harm. Bless the people that do harm. Bless my friend next to me. go out in the town with this frame of mind, with these words, and then look at the world. And then look at your world. And just walk. Quietly just walk around the town and with these words. Imagine if your heart and mind looked through these eyes all day long. How would you look at this world? What would the world be like for you? You will understand war and cancer. You will understand evil and goodness. No longer would you fear. Nowhere to run. There are many, many problems, and there will always be problems. And a lot of things that go wrong. But hold this prayer when you go for the walk. Hold that chant and those words as you walk. Tomorrow morning at 10. I'll meet you on the street. I can see this is one of those China days. The Chinese, no matter how many you take down, they keep coming over the hill. In the fire dance, no matter how many you can bring in hundreds in the first hour and a half, and you look out into the room and there's still hundreds left to do. And you're not going into the toilet and washing your face and hands and then coming back, are you? Huh? is it working? No? Can I have another one?
Martin,
You have to just replace the whole thing. These translation units are very nice. You know, it's really very nice. Yeah. Remember the first few years didn't have these, and had someone, I would say a few words, and then the person's got to translate it, and then I got to stop and think and say again and back and forth. And it's really, really hard to do. Do not forget your mantra, your motto, your theme. You just get it very, very clear. So every day you can see it very clearly the minute you get up. Your life is the best teacher that you could ever have. Your own life is really your true teacher. Your life. Your life. Once somewhere in your future, when the realization of that becomes apparent to you, then that external environment is a very different environment to your eyes, to your feelings. All of a sudden, this world that you've been living in is a very different world. It's you realize that, and once it is really realized, a chain of events, it is like starting the real life. That's when you really start to live. And it is like a domino effect. Not just one roll of dominoes falling after the other, opening up doors and doors and doors, and revealing and revealing and revealing, and treasure chest opening up, and Pandora's box opening up, and unknown boxes opening up, cellars opening up, and basements opening up, and back doors and windows and screen doors, and eyes opening up, and just constantly, in all going in all directions. It really goes to show it is really my right hand, and I'm the one who dials the phone. It is my right hand that really ties my own shoelaces. But really, please, you know what would be good for you? Take the initiative and go to a print shop and you design the style of type. Your life is your best teacher. Or you can change the words around a little bit, because English and German are a little different, so, make it so it's in German. And have a printer print up a nice, for you, just for you. And you spend time choosing out the color and the face type. And spend some time getting the right words, something that, you don't have to decide immediately unless you know. And make it nice, right? Make it very nice. Invest in yourself. And something so you can see this. And then throughout the day, as you look at it maybe once or a few times during the day, you constantly think about every time you walk away from someone, every time you close the door, every time you see someone blink, every time someone had just turned away and walked away from you, every time you put down the phone, every time you had to say goodbye, you found that it is you that is left alone. And we are constantly left alone by ourselves all the time. And especially when you know the person has gone away for the evening or for the whole day or for a month or two. And especially those special times when it is a final goodbye from someone. And to remember those final goodbyes that we've had with our relatives or friends. And how every night you close the eyes and all we can do is take our feelings and our images and our experiences into our own world, into our own dreams at night. No one can eat for you, nor die for you, nor be born for you. We do it ourselves. No one can even think for you, and no one can speak for you. We attempt to help other people to speak, try to get across what they mean and say, but it's not the same. In essence, this is really a very harsh reality. It's very, very harsh. For no one really likes to be left alone unless we're just so irritated. We can't stand other people anymore. But we all like to be liked and accepted. And sometimes it is just really nice to be left alone. But are we really? The ingredient of being alone is really the last ingredient a sentient being actually goes through. It's a last phase of life to realize. It is the longest phase of all. It is the harshest and the most severe phase of all. And yet it is the most beautiful medicine really once aloneness is really understood. My life is my best teacher. My life is my teacher. Keep your eyes open for all the cynicism, for all the things that crosses our thoughts and our feelings. The times when we wish to strangle someone for irritating you. And the times we wish we would have said something, but it's a little too late. And watch all the stories of our feelings from morning till night. And don't forget this mind of ours. We're human beings and we love evidence and we need a lot of evidence. And don't be afraid of getting your own evidence about really our secrets inside and what is maybe not so nice, but this is who we are. And when we don't criticize or judge too harshly ourselves, we start to see ourselves being a little bit softer and kinder to other people. And that's our feedback. There is no such thing. It doesn't exist. A subconscious. It does not exist. It's impossible for it to exist. But we have literally created and dissected and separated our mind. But it's understandable because life is miraculous. It's very big. There's a lot to do. And with too much disappointment and hurt, and growing up a little too fast, being hurt too much, it's not easy to absorb all the things in reality that all children, adolescents, and adults go through. And if there's something bothering you that somehow you can't understand or doesn't see, somehow you do see what you don't see. It's a paradox. And pay attention to your feelings, that your feelings start to see it. Pay attention to your body signs. For the answers are there not all the time. The obvious is there, but not all the time. And sometimes it may take years to understand it and to see it. And sometimes it is a friend, sometimes it's a stranger that blurts it out. And sometimes answers to all our questions fly right in front of us. And they've been flying in front of our faces for so many years, but never heard it. Sometimes we simply do not care, and I think that's a lot of the time. And your job is to make it okay not to care. It's all right not to care. about ourselves, about the people, about our baby, about someone getting hurt. It's okay. It's okay. It just doesn't feel good. And if your heart is as cold as stone, it's okay. Let it be cold. But your job, because your life is your teacher, watch what it does. Watch how it affects your life and the lives of other people that you are touching. Just watch. Get the evidence of its effects. And just ask yourself, do you like it? Do you like what it does? And if you like it, continue. That's all you can do. But as you accumulate the evidence, you know what depression and to be a heavy person, heavy thoughts. In depression, you consider it something of weight, of heavy, and it is. It accumulates weight in the subtle mind. All of a sudden, the feet start to become heavier. More weight starts to somehow accumulate. It's difficult to get up. It's difficult to open up those eyelids. So in essence, we're talking about like stone, like metal. Remember those days when there was an awful lot of clarity and lightness, like a feather? So a human being actually transverses from a world being as light as a feather to as heavy as a stone. And somehow we all have to find a balance in between. Maybe a stick. Maybe a skipping stone over a very calm lake. But it's not easy to be somewhat in the middle. But if life is my teacher, to understand what integrity is, to what strength is, to what joy is, what it is to be high and clear, we need the contrast. Don't turn your eyes away from people that have dark clouds around their heads or feet. Don't turn it away from yourself. If you have a heavy day, take advantage of it and walk with that heaviness all day. Or watch how someone else is walking with heavy legs or a heavy heart or a heavy mind. Not to have self-pity, but to observe what all human beings go through. Your job is to gain the contrast. So you can see the stones and the feathers out there. And watch how it affects all of us. It's always been like this and will continue to be like this for a very long time. Nothing unusual, really quite ordinary. But to awaken the mind fully, we have to turn that ordinariness into extraordinariness. And that takes a lot of effort and work. You've been given a day like a feather, take advantage of it. Before the feather is taken away and a rock is put in its place. And when a day of a rock has taken its place, take advantage of it and be that rock before the rock is taken away and a stick is put in its place. be an expert of what it is to be as heavy as a rock and know it well. And your job is to try as best as possible to be kind, to be as open, and to be as considerate as when those days like a feather was in your lap. And when those days the feathers are there, easy to be light, easy to be joyful, don't waste it, and pay attention to the people whose days are rocks. And observe and watch. To be in awe of all this, and to respect all of this. It is not to hate the rocks or hate the feathers, but to respect all these various elements. And sometimes it's a very good reason why it is a day of stone. And sometimes it is ridiculous, the reason. If your day is confused, take advantage of it. And watch how you can still decide to drink a glass of water. How you can still decide, maybe not so easy, to order from the menu. How you can still all of a sudden get up and walk to the door. How you can still dial that phone number. And you're confused. Very funny thing. And how you may feel lost one moment, and somehow you can give directions how to get to that particular drugstore. And how you still know the city that you are in. Quietly pay attention to yourself. Quietly. My advice, go find your stone with weight. Not a light stone, but a heavy stone. And when it comes to a feather, you don't look. You wait until you just come across it accidentally. Sometimes the feather is not right, then wait until you find that other feather accidentally. There are many, many stones, and it's easy to be a stones. There are many creatures that walk and crawl on the earth, and there's really very few that can fly. Very funny thing how our thoughts can be so heavy, how difficult it is from step to step, and how simply our thoughts can be no longer a stone, somehow a very light feather, and how easy it is to glide. Don't follow the tens of millions of people. Don't follow the tens and millions of people's philosophies and thinking. If you just investigate yourself, you will realize that no one will die for you. They can't. You have to do it yourself. And the reality is, when you leave this planet, everyone else stays here. You can't even take your favorite book. You can't take your favorite sock. And you can't even take those wonderful shoes that you just bought. You won't get that special necklace from me that indicates your development. You won't get that certificate from me indicating that you have advanced that much. And you won't get the name of a club that indicates you belong to anything. All you can do is come here and listen to someone, and you have to leave here all by yourself. Because that is how it really is in life. It has taken us, each of us, a very long time for us to be us. And each of us, we have our own pace. Some of us run faster, some of us think better.
Some of us, you could say, kind of looks like we are more developed. But once you really see it and understand it, God, after billions of years for you to be you, there's some parts of me that are so undeveloped. And there's parts of me that are somewhat developed. And there's parts of me that are developed to, okay. And yet I can see I have still a long ways to go, and I'm glad there is. Because there's many things I have not seen or done nor heard. There's many lands still that I have not seen, and many faces I have not come across. To be thankful that there's nothing but life for all of us. But I do know one thing. If I really have to live another day, whether I die or just wake up like most of us, I would rather have that next day much better than the other day. Sometimes it is nice to be like a rock and sleep. And sometimes it is nice to fly. And sometimes the storm is too strong to fly, and it's okay. And sometimes there's nothing to think about. And sometimes there's nothing for me to say. Sometimes my mistake will lead me out. And sometimes an accident will reveal a new friend. And sometimes my pain will change my course. Sometimes it's okay to bleed. this teacher teaching me. And everything that the teacher was saying, most of it wasn't making any sense to me. And I found myself, looking and I started to irritate this teacher. And the teacher, it was a wonderful, beautiful teaching. But it took me years to comprehend it. Years. So simple. And the teacher says, "How old are you?" And I think I was 34 or something like that. 34. 34. I remember that, Asked me now I'm going to get a very important empowerment, because the teacher really made it very personal. How old are you? Oh boy, this is it. 34. And the teacher says, "You have been in your mind 34 years. 34 years. I'm waiting for like a koan, or, something to really, and, yes, very proud of myself, yes. And there I was just right before, shaking. And the teacher says, so after 34 years, I'm going to ask that for you to spend a little time, and when you come here, you be my mind. You've already been your mind 34 years. Now, be my mind when you come." It's to redirect the environment of your inner mind. A very funny thing, we are like all one, we hear this, and we're not. We're separate people, we have our separate minds. And somewhere down the chain of esotericism, we are all one mind, like one sky. But we're not, we're separate. And yet it's okay, we are all one mind, yet we're not. But after 34 years, you have been, your mind, give yourself a little break. And most of you are doing it really very well. And that's what really helps to create the change very rapidly. To let yourself be of my mind. We've all have seen very quietly what radiation can do to a human being. Something that we cannot see, but how radiation, a little too much, can actually kill a person. And yet actually we are being radiated right and left with radio waves, waves from the wall, waves from the water, waves from someone's emotions. We can get and be much smarter how to live out our day. And don't forget, if you are not in love, you work real hard to fall in love with something, doesn't matter what, or someone, and water and nourish that love. Even though you may not be able to speak it, but that is what really speeds up this. Or to try to understand it with your mind, it's a long road up. Life is not a formula. And yet, we are a walking formula. Let's do the fire dance. And we're going to meet concerning the liaison and the people who are going to help with the vision quest for the children. And it's hard to say how many young ones are going to want to do this. So it's, we got to find out. It's an unknown factor, and it's going to be unknown probably to the last 2 or 3 weeks before a vision quest. The vision quest is definitely not the same as it would be for the adults. Their minds are different. They think differently. And we have to understand this. My son, there's quite a few people in America doing vision quest, and they're very good at it. And my son went on one, and there were, I think, like 12 kids. They're all around the age of 14, and beautiful instructors, just really caring and wonderful. And they went out for like 5-6 days. And the only thing that really was so profound with them all was their hunger. And that isn't what we want to do. We don't want to do that in this vision quest. That hunger is the focal point. And this I also ask of you people, that when you go out, don't be strict with yourself. You have to really be considerate to what your habits have been for the last couple years. What is your body type? What is your health? And it's okay to drink and eat, so that the main focal point doesn't stay with the basics such as hunger. Because too many people lose the point. brought a most wonderful thing into this world. And he called that the middle way. And it's very true. And sometimes suffering cannot be stopped and it helps. And sometimes it is pointless. And I thank you very much for sitting there. It's not easy just to sit there. And thank you very much for being respectful. Thank you for giving me company up here. It feels much better. I'm not so alone. It's much nicer. I know sometimes I haven't had a chance to talk to all of you. It's not easy with so many people. I know some of you have sent email and letters and haven't had a chance to read anything. But I have it in my briefcase. You know, some of us have jobs that are not nice. Not nice at all. And these jobs, they deal with the nasty parts of society. Like a policeman or a judge. The counselor, psychiatrist, mortician, ambulance drivers, nurse. And a lot of people are shielded from the harsh realities of life. There are a lot of nasty, mean things that happen out there. Don't turn your eyes away from it. And yet, you gotta work real hard to keep your heart open with it. Most shut down the heart, and it's understandable. We are not here for too long on this planet. Get as much as you can before we have to go. See as much as you can. Understand as much as you can before we have to go. Because it's very, very difficult to come back here. It is literally almost impossible to come back here. Get as much as you can. And if it hurts, good. If it makes you cry, good. If it makes you laugh, good. If it stuns you, good. And most of everything that happens in this world, there's nothing we can do about it but witness it. And that's the beauty of our eyes. You'll understand our eyes much better. For a true eye is but a witness. To witness and watch. And if it hurts your heart, good. But it's through our hurt and joy that we develop an understanding that when we leave our sailboat and the wind behind that guides and pushes our sailboat in any direction, where does the wind come from, I ask? And from whose lungs blows that wind, I ask? For so many, the source of the wind, it's not a good wind. And for so many, lives are not so good. And for so many, the source of the wind, such a beautiful wind it is. Such beautiful sights to see. For what cave does the wind emanate from? From what intent? From what feeling? Where is the source of the river? Where is the spark of life? Where does it all begin? From beginning to end. From where is the moment I leave the shore? When is it that I really turn around? How far can I see? How much can I really, really see? Your wind behind your back. So we'll go into a break and we'll go do the dance.